Welcome back, everyone, to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio show. I am your host, Randall White. That was the lovely, talented Patty Pyburn speaking with me. And this is our health and fitness segment. Sharon Palmer is joining us. She's the author of The Plant-Powered Diet. And she is down in are you in the Inland Empire? No, you're in the San Gabriel Valley?
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, fantastic. You know, every single year, because we're heading into the new year, I tell myself I am incorporating more vegetables into my diet
You
this
and
year.
millions of other people, Randall.
That's right. So we know that there's good reasons. We know that vegetables are good for us. But you say you really can power yourself on vegetables, that it should become the main staple. You're not necessarily recommending people completely cut meat out.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Yes, I recommend that about 3/4 of your plate be filled with some sort of plant food for people that are interested in a more plant-based diet for health, and then people that are vegans and vegetarians, then they can be even including more plant foods on their plate.
Right.
But there's so many health benefits attributed with this kind of eating style.
And so what are some of the health benefits that come along with including more plant-based foods?
Well, science shows us that your lifestyle can reduce your risk of chronic disease by 80%. So that's just overwhelming, to think that you could reduce your risk of heart disease, cancer, diabetes by 80%. So, but specifically when it comes to diet, a whole plant food-based diet, full of whole grains and beans and lentils and nuts and seeds and fruits and vegetables, that a diet like that can help lower your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain types of cancer. It can provide you with a healthier weight, and even, like brain function, Alzheimer's disease protection, those kinds of things we're finding out now, too.
Clearly, I haven't had much plant-powered food this last week because my brain is not working.
You're lagging. So, Sharon, I was looking at your website, and I noticed that you have some recipes and things on here. Do you think that sometimes people just lack a little bit of imagination about incorporating more vegetables, and they just can't really see how that would work for their lifestyle?
I think you're exactly right. I think people still have this idea when they're planning their meals. We still think, okay, what's for dinner? We're going to have chicken tonight. And then, there's a little pile of vegetables beside the chicken, and then maybe mashed potatoes. And really, we should be turning around that whole thinking style. When you think of what's for dinner tonight, you should think of the vegetable. That's what I like to recommend. So maybe you're shopping at the farmer's market, and you see this time of year Swiss chard, beautiful rainbow Swiss chard. So then you start thinking that way, that, let's have Swiss chard. What am I going to prepare with that? Maybe I'll do quinoa, or maybe some, if you're a vegan, maybe tofu, or then maybe just a smaller amount of animal protein if you're doing chicken. But if you start thinking of like stir fries and pasta dishes where you're combining all these lots of plant foods with a smaller amount of animal food, and this is something that we see in traditional diets throughout the world, animal foods were precious, and there were all these mixed dishes. It wasn't so much this little pile of corn, on your plate. There were all these traditional mixed dishes with lots of plant foods, because that was really the sustenance that people had.
We have the proportions on our plate
We've kind of
wrong.
turned things around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do. In America, we eat 3 times the global rate of animal protein. So we're eating 3 times as much meat as the world, So we really have this unique style of eating that's really not helping our health too much.
It's a sign of affluence, right, to have more animal-based products on your plate. But then it's funny, I think we have a little bit of a twist to that in California. Then the more wealthy you are, the more you tend to switch, I think, to like the vegetarian lifestyle, because I don't know if it's en vogue or hip or...
It's the trend.
Yeah, right?
I think you're right. Well, historically, you're right. It was a sign of wealth and also industrialization as people started eating more meat. But then now we know through studies that socioeconomic and educational factors have an impact. People tend to have healthier diets that include more fruits and vegetables with socioeconomic and educational that factor. So you're right. It's like as we become more interested in health and nutrition, then we start gravitating to more of a plant-based diet in general.
Yeah, go ahead, Patty.
Well, I was going to say, I noticed you have a Meatless Monday icon also on your website, and we recently talked about Meatless Monday here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Do you think that if people can't go all in and just get meats out of their diet, like even a little bit of movement towards that is beneficial?
Oh, yes, I agree with that. In fact, that's one of my main philosophies in my book is that, not everybody is going to be a vegan or a vegetarian. I mean, right now the surveys show that maybe up to 8% of America is vegetarian and half of that is vegan. So, this is not something that everybody wants to do, but we have more and more people interested in reducing their meat and maybe having like 1 or 2 days a week that they go meatless. And this is a huge trend. The surveys are showing that up to a third of the population is actually out there trying to have meatless meals. Like they're consciously thinking about, okay, I'm going to have a meatless meal today.
A full third, huh?
Yeah, it's really encouraging. So it's all this whole Meatless Monday thing, like starting out the day week, let's be creative and let's do a really plant-based meal tonight and the whole family can enjoy it. And I mean, I do it at home with my family 2 days a week, and I mean, nobody even really notices that it's a meatless meal. So
that's when you know you're doing it right.
Right. You have to be creative in the kitchen, I imagine, Sharon, to pull that off.
But, one example is pasta night. Is so easy to do meatless. That's kind of we do one pasta night a week, and there's so many delicious meatless pasta. I have a great lasagna recipe in my book that has kale and broccoli, little thin layers, and it's so good that, I mean, my family just laps it up. So,
Sharon, what you said that struck me is that by switching to a plant-powered diet, you can reduce your risk of disease by 80%. If there was a pill on the market that people could take that would do that, it would be flying off the shelves. And so, right?
Well, exactly. The statistics show, I should probably explain that if healthy lifestyle, which would be a plant-based diet and exercise, and if you didn't smoke, if you did those three things, you could reduce your risk by 80%. And you're right, there is no pill on the market that can ever do that.
No. That's fantastic. Sharon, I gotta stop it there. I apologize. Sharon Palmer, author of The Plant-Powered Diet. Get all her information online, eatdrinkexplore.com, under our program summaries. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, stick around, everyone. Just after the break, we're going to find out where California's top-rated campgrounds and RV parks are.